Picked up by McKenzie. Looks for Simmons, has him left of the key. And Zach with his back to the basket move. Kicks it back out. Hamlet straight on McBride, right wing. An open three, and it falls for James Reese.
Excellent job reversing, looking for the next best pass and that high release point for Reese. Hands it.
Reese went through a brief 0 for 7. Seemed to have righted himself Tuesday night. He starts the scoring here this evening. Deontay Boothman. They work across court. Jason Thompson into the corner for McKenzie. Shot clock under 10. And now back into the hands of Boothman. Up high, Iame. Back to Boothman. Straight on three, and he banks it in. Whether he meant to or not, he tied it that way.
Likes to pull off the bounce. That time jacking it from way deep between the rings, but again, gets the kind clank.
44% from beyond the arc. Far less accurate inside three-point range. Inside the lane is Thomas Bell. Kicks it out for McBride, three. And this one back rim, no good. Rebounded by Boothman. Outlet comes to midcourt to McKenzie. Finds a teammate down the right baseline and stripped of the ball. Miles Pierre with the turnover. Hamlet will take it the other way. No look feed to the right corner. Reese to McBride. He'll try another three, and this one is perfect from the right wing.
3 of 4 from downtown on Tuesday night against Arkansas Pine Bluff. McBride showing that he really likes shooting that three here at the pit.
63%. As we discussed with Graham McCaslin, that's number 4 in the country. A very limited sampling. So 6-3 start for the Mean Green in the first 2 minutes. And the Huskies turn it over, a pass sailing over the head of Pierre. And Hank, that is their issue, turning the ball over.
107 turnovers thus far. That's right at 18 a game, and that's one of the reasons they allow 84.5 points per game. Teams are turning turnovers into points.
They only force 12.5 per game, so that's 5 extra possessions on average for their opponents. So North Texas ball leading 6-3. And same spot for another three, and the same exact result. Back-to-back swishes from deep by Drez McBride. Cross court in the right corner, McKenzie into a crowd, banks, misses, goes up high, gets his own rebound. Goes underneath Simmons, misses the follow. Another offensive rebound, and the third time is a charm as he finally gets that one to fall.
Boy, that's the Moses Malone treatment there. Just keep getting your own misses and pad those numbers on the offensive glass.
Moses used to do it on purpose, though. McKenzie trying to score every time. Hamlet's running floater in the lane is good. First 2 for Javion, 11-5 start for the Mean Green. HBU, Jason Thompson. Dribbles into the right corner, feed into the near corner, McKenzie, and hitting the deck is McBride. He will be called for the first foul of the game on a block.
Well, North Texas, a team going back to last year, so good at taking charges, and McBride trying to take away the baseline that time, but did not get set. That's going to allow Grant McCaslin to make a line change here, and a bunch of fresh faces come in.
Terrence Lewis the second. Reuben Jones and J.J. Murray all check in to the Mean Greens. The Huskies inbound it, working up high for Iame. To the far quarter court, Pierre into the corner, and nearly a turnover on a high dribble by Pedro Castro. Began his career at UTA. Another foul, and this time it is on the freshman from Houston Yates, Reuben Jones, team second.
Little handoff that time up high by Castro, and then as Pierre peeled his way into the lane, a reach in.
16:53. First half, 11-5 start for the Mean Green. As the Huskies inbound it into the far corner, and down the baseline goes Boothman for a Castro three, and he knocks it down from the left corner.
Castro, a pretty versatile guy, not only 44% on his three ball, but also has 6 blocks to lead a team that blocks a lot of shots.
He leads them in those categories. 4 starts, but often comes off the bench, as he has here tonight. It's 11-8. Lewis turns and scores from 12 left of the key.
Well, that confidence spilling over from Tuesday night, where he was really, really good in 13 minutes of action, getting earlier looks today.
Showing a very polished all-around game. 13-8, Mean Green by 5. Thompson sends it way up high for a Boothman three from NBA range. He's got his second tray.
He had a good outing against Rice earlier this week with 15 and continues to fill it up here.
Huskies have hit all three of their threes. Inside, left hand reverse goes for Zachary Simmons. First two, 15-11.
Right to left along the baseline, using that length.
Up and down pace. Lots of quick shots, most of which are falling. Boothman puts it up. Left baseline, overshot it, and the rebound chased down to the corner as Reuben Jones tiptoes along the sideline to keep it in bounds. Into the front court comes Hamlet. Murray looks into the lane. Lewis out for Jones. Up fake. No look feed underneath. And Zach Simmons goes up for a reverse and gets fouled. First Husky whistle of the evening on Jason Thompson. Our first timeout of the evening. 15-26 in the first half. 15-11. North Texas leads HBU on.
When COVID-19 disrupted everything, we did what we do best. When we could no longer be together, we still found ways to stay close. When the #1 goal is to help students achieve their dreams, we overcome any obstacle, bringing education and opportunity for 130 years with a resilient, caring, and creative spirit. The University of North Texas, where education never stops.
Silver leaves as we walk by, soft kisses on a summer's day, laughing all our cares away.
Both teams always scorching the twine from deep because Houston Baptist a perfect 3 of 3 from downtown, and now some free throws out of the timeout for Simmons. Boy, he was the recipient of a beautiful no-look shuttle pass down there on the right block.
And Zach's first free throw is no good, a little bit short. 6'10", 239 senior out of Cedar Hill, who has played all but one game in his now 4 years in the Mean Green uniform. Second free throw is no good. He undershot the first, missed the second long. Boothman trapped after the rebound of the corner and gets help from Miles Pierre, who will bring it up. Made his 5th start tonight in game number 7 for the Huskies. First appearance for Hunter Janacek, a junior from Scarborough High School in Houston. Started out at Lafayette and transferred to Angelina Junior College. In the right corner, Pedro Castro. They work around the horn for Pierre. Shot clock a factor, down to 2, down to 1, 15 and no good. Long, rebounded by Reuben Jones. He'll bring it himself to the front court. Sees the lane open, goes in with a left-hand finish high off the glass.
You can see why his Yates High School team had 21 consecutive games scoring over 100 points. That kind of mentality.
A one-man fast break. No problem for Reuben Jones. Driving baseline into an offensive foul committed by Miles Pierre, drawn by the well-rounded game of Terrence Lewis II.
Yeah, that's been a nice homestand for Terrence Lewis. Gets the dirty work in there before heading back to the bench. And once again, Grant McCaslin, knowing that there's a lot of players that will play for Houston Baptist, he's keeping his bench active here early.
Abu Usman makes his first appearance, the 6'10", 250 freshman from Brooklyn, New York. As Reuben Jones will bring it across. Javion Hamlet taking a seat. James Reese back in. Murray on the left side, swings high to Usman near quarter court Jones. And Jones easily able to free himself from Castro, pulls up, jumper, no good from just inside the foul line. And the 6'1" Zayonte Boothman there for the rebound. Now the long, lean Castro from Fort Worth Brewer. Fall away left baseline, won't rattle in for him. Rebound taken away from Usman by Jones, doing everything in the first half. Into the front court, he finds Murray. Down the baseline goes Bell. Kicks it near side. Reese, pull-up jumper, good from 15.
Reese determined to take a shot there. Lost the handle on the wing, but regathered it and then hits the mid-range. Soft touch.
6-0 run. Mean Green have hit 8 of their first 10 and lead 19-11 with 13 and a half to go first half. And Castro. Swing way up high to Ryan Gomes, just in, 6'10" postman. Into the lane goes Pierre, turns it over to Thomas Bell. The Mean Green with numbers, alley-oop. Too tall for Reese, followed up, missed by Bell, and finally captured by Castro, who is undercut by Thomas Bell. That'll be a foul.
Tough foul on Bell because he was already on the ground and caught in no man's land. Didn't mean to commit a foul, but obviously created enough contact there to warrant the whistle.
Third against the team as Javion Hamlet re-enters. Murray and Jones to the bench. Ardrez McBride back in as well. And 19-11, Mean Green by 8. We near the 13-minute mark of the game. Janacek crowded by Hamlet. Up to Gomes, 6'10", 250, wide body from Westminster, Maryland. First appearance by Jade C., a 6'1" freshman from Queens, New York. C drops it off and around the left side to Boothman, who gets his feet tangled up with James Reese's feet, and they will call James for initiating the contract his first.
Mean Green had really picked up the defense on the perimeter. Unfortunately, in the switch there, Reese gets caught up. That call could have gone either way.
Inadvertent contact, but 2 bodies fell. Somebody's going to get whistled. Inbounds, they work the Boothman, drives and scores. Almost offensive goaltending on a Gomes follow. That turned out not to be necessary. And it's 19-13. Huskies within 6. McBride spots an opening in the paint, drives in, finishes with the left hand.
Splitting 2 defenders from the right side. That quick first step, and then you've got to have deft touch around the lid, and he did.
21-13, lead back to 8. Castro, a hard time finding shots. Drives in against post defense, forces a miss off the glass, controlled by Bell. And out of McBride, who will bring it up and look for the point. And Hamlet has it guarded straight on in a 1-4 set by Boothman. Crossover dribble, pulls up, floater, won't rattle in, but he got fouled and will shoot 2.
Little rockabye baby, and Hamlet's able to put the defender to sleep on that crossover move, which got him enough room to release. Didn't make the shot, but the hoop and the harm. A chance to maybe get something going here at the free throw line.
Javion last year, best free throw shooter in Conference USA play. 88% so far this year. And hits the first.
Also off to a great clip in terms of distribution. Hamlet averaging 5 assists per game through the early going, and the early going has been against some pretty stout competition.
More for the senior from Memphis, and he swishes both. 4-point start for Javion. Full court pressure after the make to make it 23-13. This is the biggest lead of the game. Rio under 12 minutes remaining in the game. Bryson Long makes his first appearance, 6'2" true freshman from Gilbert, Arizona. Jade C at the point. Hamlet on him. Off right wing for Long. Straight away to Gomes, near quarter court. And Janacek trying to escape Reese. Can't do it. Gives it up for C. Shot clock under 5. C, floater, edge of the lane, no good, and pulled down by Thomas Bell.
Another stylish carom by Bell.
Long feet ahead. Hamlet underneath finds Usman for the lay-in, and Ron Cottrell wants timeout.
Doesn't like the fact that a freshman big man ran the floor and outran the Huskies. Usman getting the easy basket on a nice long forward dish.
11:26 first half, and the lead is 12. The second 6-0 run of the first half for the Mean Green. It's 25-13 on Learfield IMG College.
I have a voice. You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voices can be heard
Outside of sports.
As student athletes, we have a platform.
Now more than ever.
It's important that we listen, learn, and lead, and raise our voices for change.
We can all do more.
Now is the time
to make a difference.
This is our chance.
This is our chance to make a better tomorrow.
Together, we will continue the conversation.
We have a voice.
Hi folks, Chris Fowler here, Dos Equis' new pour-by-pour commentator. Hey, a job's a job. Now, onto the pour. Look at it run. The ice-cold, refreshing cerveza rushes toward the 10 fluid ounce line. There's no stopping this crisp and delicious cerveza now. It's at the 11, 11.5, 11.6. Will it reach 12? There it is, 12 fluid ounces. Unbelievable. I'm crying. I'm actually crying right now. Dos Equis, a most interesting beer.
Tuesday, North Texas shot 61%. The first half so far, 77%. 10 of 13, 3 out of 4 three-pointers. Houston Baptist, 5 of 13. Despite making all 3 of their trays, they're 38.5%. They're down by 12. Back to play, 11:15 to go in the half. As C is trapped in the corner. Angle pass up top, Jason Thompson, who has returned. Working between the circles too long. Pass into the lane, knocked away. Taken away by Hamlet. And Javion in transition. Finds Bell, far corner. Out for another McBride 3. No good. Bell crashing the offensive glass. Almost comes away with it, but wrestling free is Philip McKenzie.
McBride, 2 for 2 from the right wing, 0 for 2 from the left wing on his threes.
Thompson to EAME high. Now Jason gets it back on the far wing. Between the circles to C. Shot clock winding down. Just about every Husky possession so far. Down to 5 and a pass inside stolen by Hamlet. Mean Green 5 on 3 if they hurry. Javion, long stride in, hits the runner.
Well, Hamlet's going to make you pay for sloppy ball handling, and that time the pass would have been a skip pass to the left wing. Instead, they try to bounce it in the lane, and Hamlet makes them pay.
8 unanswered, 14-2 run over the last 5.5 minutes. 27-13 start at the halfway point of the first half. Thompson drives in, and bodies end up on the deck. Offensive foul drawn by Javion Hamlet.
Pretty good contact that time, and his teammates have to scrape Hamlet up off the baseline. They'll mop up his sweat here at the pit, but another vintage charge taken. And that even gets Grant McCaslin clapping a little bit, because if the mantra is the toughest team wins, that is tough right there.
Toughest play in basketball is drawing charges. Back in, Lewis, Simmons, and Murray, and Jones. Hamlet remains at the point. 27-13, high-low touch pass. Lewis to Simmons, falling away as he tries to save it, and it's stolen by Castro. And up at midcourt contact, and a foul or just out of bounds. It'll be Husky ball.
A lot of fast jabbing going on for both teams right here, so some hot potato action.
Miles Pierre has returned to run the point. J.J. Murray on him. Up high, EAME. One dribble. Hands it over for Bryson Long. Good three-point shooter and limited opportunities. 4 out of 8 so far. Shot clock again under 10. Down to 5 as Long is double teamed on the baseline and has to call a timeout. Or did he step out of bounds?
I believe he had a foot on the out of bounds, because these double teams have been merciless for the Mean Green. They fought through a lot of high action to get double teams on the wing, and that time a double team on the baseline results in another turnover.
The Huskies' 7th turnover. The Mean Green have turned it over 1 time on the last trip down, up 27-13. Hamlet cross court, open three on the way and no good by Jones. Offensive rebound, Simmons lost it. Nice save at the baseline to Lewis, and he saves it to Pierre, who's standing out of bounds.
Well, that's just the extra effort right there. Pierre had a chance to get that cleanly, but if you don't hustle and try to keep that ball going like the Mean Green did, you don't have a real chance there. That's going to make it 20 on the shot clock.
9-11 first half. Inbounding underneath is Hamlet, out to Simmons. And Zach turns, looks mid lane, finds Lewis, jump hook good. Terrence Lewis II. Whatever play there is to be made, he makes it, and it's 29-13, a 10-0 Mean Green run.
Great adjustment, too, on a low pass at close range.
16-2 run over the last 7 minutes. HBU still stuck on 5 out of 13, having a hard time getting shots, much less making them. Throw is going to be chased down by Pierre in the backcourt. He gets undercut by Lewis, but whistle had already been blown for an over and back violation.
Man, you love the floor burn mentality, especially of Terrence Lewis. One of the things they talked about today at Shoot-Around was let's have some energy. Let's really show that we're ready to play tonight. And so far in the first half, you'd have to say that's tangible.
Energy on both ends.
Yeah, I think there was a little discouragement when that LSU game got canceled because I know North Texas was looking forward to their third SEC opponent.
Yeah, that announced earlier today. It was going to be an 11 a.m. tip-off Saturday. LSU has some COVID in their program, so that game officially postponed. Reese checking in for Hamlet. And Lewis has it, time for the key. Bounce inside for Simmons, out to the wing. This jumper by Reese, and Castro pulls it down. And his outlet into the front court, stolen by Jones. Rubin all the way in, blocked, follow, no good by Simmons, rebounded by Iyeemi. 2 point-blank misses. Big body of Iyeemi influencing one, if not both. And Iyeemi has it with a high post, down to Castro. Right baseline, throws it away. Stolen by Jones, pass intended for Pierre. Rubin in transition, bounce underneath, and Reese knifes in and scores with contact.
Ron Cottrell's going to take another timeout. He's tired of seeing Reuben Jones just grab telegraphed passes. He looks like a cornerback coming up with picks here on the hardwoods.
Well, maybe Reese would have a three-point opportunity, not the case.
For 25 years, Conference USA student athletes have done things the only way that we know how, the CUSA way. In that quarter of a century, we've learned a thing or two about winning, both on and off the field. Our student athletes are more than just great athletes. They're fantastic students, and they're outstanding citizens who give back to their communities. We're committed to excellence. We are stronger together. That's the CUSA way.
Are you paying for your checking account? Well, you don't have to. At Guarantee Bank & Trust, we have a better way with Guarantee Green Checking. You get a free checking account with no minimum balance or monthly service fees. Even better, it comes with a free debit card, free online banking, free bill pay, and free mobile banking. And over 55,000 surcharge-free ATMs worldwide. Now that's a great value. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Guarantee Green Checking today at gnty.com. Banking with a capital G.
Well, HBU stuck on 13 points for the last 4 minutes and 50 seconds. They have now turned it over 11 times. Well, still stuck on 5 of 13 from the field, over twice as many turnovers as field goals, and that equals 31-13. Mean Green 65% shooting, 13-20. And after the timeout, HBO works it to Castro. Up to the point, Pierre dumps it down low. Iyeemi, strong post move over Usman and misses. The point-blank hook, rebound pulled down by Murray.
Yimi's going to be a duck-in guy. That's good defense by Usman.
Usman knocks down a 15-footer, baseline left, 33-13. 14 unanswered.
That's not the shot he's been hitting with regularity, but that's nice to see Usman open up.
Sailing into the paint for a miss is Boothman, and the whistle after the rebound pulled down by Usman, and they're going to get it over the back on Zach Iyeyemi. That is team foul number 5.
That's a pretty good matchup to watch. In fact, that's our Metzler's matchup. Iyeyemi against Usman, 2 big bodies, and Usman so far having the upper hand.
7 minutes remaining first half. Mean Green by 20 with a 14-0 run. Driving, scoring on the scoop. James Reese, a 9-point half. And the run has now reached 16 unanswered, coming up on 6 minutes since the Huskies last dented the scoreboard. Fumbled into the left corner by Castro, able to chase it down. Up the sideline to Boothman. On the other side of the floor, a whistle on Thomas Bell. That is his second.
Well, that's way away from the action. Everything with the ball occurring in the left corner. And that's a call up high on the opposite wing.
Well, I thought I saw 1-3 being held up. Turns out they're calling it on Usman.
Okay.
His first. And team fouls now even at 5 apiece. Inbounds, McKenzie back in. Get up high to Castro. Not much action from him so far. To Pierre. Cut off elbow the lane. Hounded by Reese into a turnover. But Reese got a hand on it. It'll still be Huskies ball with 8 to shoot.
Well, the best defender last season was certainly James Reese. He would take on the best athlete. Normally whoever was the best athlete that was a non-forward, and he just continues to be a pest.
McKenzie with the throw in. Left wing Castro. Followed by Ruben Jones. Shot clock at 4. Iyeyemi, far corner, jumper long by McKenzie, rebound. Castro, and his follow rejected by Usman. Abu making his presence felt on both ends. Dribbling into the paint the other end, Jones dumps down low, and Usman Culver steps on his spin move.
Spin move violently to the right, but he didn't have a whole lot of real estate to work with and took steps anyway. And yet, the upside is Usman with the board work and that redirect, which is something you'd love to see more of.
Abu down 23 pounds and counting since he arrived on campus last summer. Checks out, Lewis back in. 6 minutes remaining in the half. 35-13. Scoring drought coming up on 7 minutes for the Huskies. Mean Green knocked down 68%, 15 of 22. 3 on the way, no good by Pierre. 1 and done. Rebound Bell. Looks up the court, nothing there. Hamlet back in, takes the outlet left sideline into the corner for Reese. Throw up high, Bell, strong move in. Misses a lefty floater, but got fouled. And will shoot 2.
Boy, Bell does an unbelievable job pawing that pass. It was a pass that most players don't even get to, but he's able to stick the hand out there, collect it, and then because of that athleticism, keep the play alive and earn a trip to the line.
And Thomas's first free throw is good for his first point. Thomas averaging 8 points, 5 rebounds so far on the year, and 8 of 10 from the foul line.
Former Mean Greener Harold Stewart here at the game tonight. Played for Johnny Jones, part of that NCAA team in 2006-07. He was kind of a Bell-type player. Used the big wingspan and the broad shoulders to corral everything.
Second free throw is rounded out. No good, rebounded by Castro. 36-13, 17 unanswered Mean Green points over the last 7 minutes. Under 5.5 to go, first half. As Bryson Long, unable to escape defense, hands it over for Castro. Good look at the baseline, missed the turnaround. Reese pulls down the board, kicks to Hamlet, and Javion. Finding nothing available in transition, will set things up from the right quarter court, guarded tightly by Boothman. Starts to post on him, up high to Lewis, back to Javion, turns, one-hand push shot no good, but comes down to Bell, and Bell goes up and gets tied up on his attempted follow, and the arrow belongs to the Huskies.
Mean Green teammates knew that Hamlet liked that matchup with Boothman. They wanted to get him the ISO opportunity, but in the end, couldn't convert.
Bell will take a seat. Zachary Simmons back into the game. We're under 5 minutes to go in the half, 36-13. Scoreless drought, now 8 minutes on a 17-0 Mean Green run. Almost a steal by Reese. Ball picked up and picked up over by Pedro Castro, who walks, not really crowded that much defensively. So an unforced traveling turnover, their 13th.
Yeah, the Mean Green defensive tenacity has just unnerved every one of the Houston Baptist Huskies and forced them into a lot of miscues.
They average 17.7 per game. They may have that by halftime, which is 4.5 minutes remaining. Reese guarded by Bryson Long, giving to the point to Hamlet. Gomes in to block his drive, so he'll dish it for an easy two. Underneath by Terrence Lewis II, good for 6 off the bench.
Gomes at 6'10" probably needs to be a little bit more deliberate. He let that pass go.
19 unanswered points over the last 8.5 minutes. Pass into the lane. Nice catch on a stretch by McKenzie. Backs down Lewis, throws up a hook, and he can't get it. Rebound tapped over to Hamlet. 4-minute mark of the first half. Hamlet at lay drive. Cut off by Gomes. Dumps it down low for a jump hook, and Lewis throws it down again.
Boy, Lewis's reaction timing is pretty because a lot of those passes are coming in when he's not quite ready for them, but he cleans up quickly.
4 for 4 in 7 minutes. 8 points, 40-13, 21 unanswered points. 3 on the way by Boothman. Short. Rebound taken by McKenzie. Back up, misses, and the ball tipped out of bounds and touched last by HBU.
Simmons got away with one over the back, but he was able to get the deflection without the whistle, and things are really going the Mean Green way.
Timeout, and we'll spend it trying to rack our brains, see if either one of us can remember the last 21-0 run. HBO scoreless over the last 9 minutes, 17 seconds. It's 40. .328 to go the half. Let's survey the dominance. A 21-0 run over the last 9:04, 27-2 over the last 12.5 minutes. Huskies have missed 11 straight shots. Floater in the lane, around and in for Javion Hamlet. And the Mean Green now better than 70% from the field and leading 42-13 with 23 unanswered points as we hit 3 minutes to go in a futile first half for HBU. Fumbled out of bounds, unforced turnover by Darius Lee, who just had entered the game, a 6'6" junior from Harlem, New York.
14th turnover. The Mean Green have scrambled to get 13 points off of turnovers and dominating in the paint, 20-4.
Thomas Bell back in. Reese down low. A nice save by Simmons, but not able to stay in bounds. That turnover only the 5th committed by the Mean Green.
Boy, what you love about this team is the body language. Simmons is down on the baseline and 3 players sprint over to help their teammate up. That's a good sign.
23-0 over the last 10 minutes, 42-13. Mean Green owning the Huskies, and the run finally ends on a baseline pull-up by Pedro Castro.
Well, he's a black hole normally, likes those mid-range jumpers and stops the bleeding for the moment.
Pull-up push shot, rattles in right of the lane by Javion Hamlet. Javion a 10-point first half, 44-15.
Dave, he's starting to get that runner back to where it looked last year. Unstoppable.
Looking for his own shot, and with excellent results so far, 4 to 5 from the field. Boothman pulls up the circle, and a line drive jumper, back rim, rebounded by Bell. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. And Mean Green, well, there's starting 5 out there. Here's a Bell jumper from deep, no good on the right side. Offensive rebound pulled down by Simmons and wrestled away by Bryson Long. Long all the way to the front court. Hamlet waiting inside, so out it goes to Boothman. To Gomes, who was rejected on a drive underneath by Thomas Bell. To Hamlet, over to Reese, a pull-up 3, no good. Back rim chased down deep in the right corner by Darius Lee, and now to Bryson Long. 1 on 3, waits for a trailer, that's Castro, and his three-pointer, in and out, rebound put back, missed by Gomes. Chased down up high by Lee, jump stop, hook rejected by Bell, down to McBride. McBride in transition to Hamlet, long stride in, cut off, kick back out, Reese to Hamlet, who will reset after a timeout, goal by Grant McCaslin with 1:04 in the half.
How about the redirects of Thomas Bell? SWAT man on back-to-back possessions for the Huskies. They try to bring it in the lane, and it doesn't matter if it's a 6'10 guy like Gomes who got his shot packed, or a guard trying to come in with a floater. And Thomas Bell is more than just a rebounder. He is all over the place, offensively, defensively, and as we said, just the glue guy that keeps everything going for the Mean Green.
4th block by North Texas. They have a 13-2 edge in points off turnovers, having forced or accepted 14 Husky turnovers. Off the bench, the scoring is 16-5. In the paint, it's 20-4. Dominance every aspect of the game. Out of the timeout, Reese throwing in, and Hamlet sets up. We go under 1 minute remaining. And about as close to a perfect first half as one could imagine this early in the season. Pass down low goes to Bell, and his lefty scoop wouldn't stay. Halfway down, bounced out, rebounded by Philip McKenzie. Grant McCaslin thought he saw a double dribble, not called though. Swing it around to Lee, now Boothman, guarded by Murray on the left wing. Stops his dribble, dumps it off for Lee. Powerful 6'6", 230 forward off the bench. To McKenzie, jump stop, and there's traveling. Stop the turnover. Grant McCaslin thought he had seen earlier, but it is a turnover, and it's their 15th.
Last season in the Lid Lifter, 18 points was all Oklahoma Christian could muster in the first half. Here, the Huskies are sitting on just 15 points.
Chance here to get the last shot of the half, a difference of about a second between the two clocks. 20 seconds remaining in the half. As Hamlet dribbling against the defensive Boothman up near midcourt. Shot clock under 10, and he'll go to work. Over to Murray, back to Javion, crossover dribble. Kicks it back out for a Murray 3, and an air ball battled for. Simmons grabs it, but the shot clock expires on the Murray air ball.
That's going to give the Huskies one final crack at it with enough time to get a shot off for sure here.
1.4 seconds, but the length of the court to travel against full court pressure. Castro with a look, finally into Lee, and he won't even bother from still deep in his own backcourt. So, a 25-2, can you call it a run if it lasts about 12 and a half minutes?
Utter dominance.
That's the game.
It was torrid defense, forcing turnovers, scoring off turnovers, and shooting the ball so well because of the dominance inside the lane.
Houston Baptist missed 16 of their last 17 shots. They turned it over 12 times in the last 12 minutes.
Mental health affects us all. whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend.
We pledge to continue the conversation.
Because it matters.
because you matter.
Stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
I'm feeling good. So good. I just thought you should know.
You need a few more folks to get involved in the scoring. Only 3 scorers in the first half. Somebody else needs to start finding a way to get it in the hoop.
Bell into Hamlet. Second half underway. Mean Green and Home White shooting at the goal to our left. And they work it to a wide open Dres McBride. 3 in and out of the corner. Rebounded by Zayante Boothman, the true freshman from Buckeye, Arizona. In transition and out of control. A miss by Jason Thompson. Mean Green control. No look bounce into the near corner. McBride to Bell. Back to Dres. Into the paint. Kicks to a wide open Reese. And his 3 finds the mark in the right corner.
Well, we talked about it in the first half. He has such a high release point, and when he gets in a groove, boy, Reese just eyes up the bucket well.
10 points, 2 of 3 from deep, 47-15. This is now the biggest lead of the game at 32. HBU 1-5 coming in as Pierre tries to feed the low post to Ieyemi, knocked out of bounds by Bell. Last 3 games, they lost home and home with Rice. Their only win over Champion Christian out of Hot Springs, Arkansas, 93-16. Mostly they've bitten off much higher level competition. TCU, SMU, Arizona State. As Pierre fires one with 2 on the shot clock, he is fouled by Javion Hamlet. Javion with the reach, bailing him out a little bit. That's his first.
Pierre's a guy who has a nice handle that normally allows him to get to his spot for shots. That time he just jacked one up, but was able to get the contact. And first free throws here for Houston Baptist.
Green with 3 of 6 from the line of the first half. Pierre doesn't get there that often, hits the first. He's now 5 of 6 for the season. Sophomore from Charlotte made his 5th start of the year in this game. Von Cottrell plays almost everybody, and he suits up 15, and most have had at least 1 start. Pierre gets both free throws, 47-17.
Pressure by the Mean Green, or by the Huskies on the Mean Green in backcourt, trying to slow down North Texas a little bit. That's a good move.
Pierre following Javion Hamlet over the timeline. As Hamlet works around a high pick by Simmons, finds himself open, hits from 13, a step inside the foul line. That's a dozen for Javion.
And that's unfair. He just probed his way for an open look and made it look very easy.
Jason Thompson has it in the left corner. Swing it high to Ieyemi, to Boothman. Barely draws iron in the right wing from 15. Down to Dres McBride. He'll kick it into the hands of Hamlet. Hamlet front court, swings it back behind him. Simmons, return feed. Hamlet back again to Simmons. 1 dribble, power move to the hoop, and slams it down.
A couple of pretty hook passes there between the 2 of them en route to that rocking of the irons.
Powerful finish by Zach. 51-17, now the biggest lead of the game. 34, loose ball at midcourt. Battle between McKenzie and Bell touched it last.
And if you're Grant McCaslin and his staff, you're happy to see this energy, because it would be easy to take your foot off the gas a little bit, but North Texas staying intense in terms of their effort all over the floor.
I think if you saw that, we'd already see maybe 5 new players in. And anything but that is the case. Lead has grown from 29 at the half to 34 in 2 minutes. Inbounding, Ieyemi sets up a Boothman 3, no good. Rebounded flat-footed by Bell. The offensive board crashers for HBU not getting much done so far. Hamlet dribbling through the lane, bounce underneath. There's Simmons, hits a reverse.
He's so good at using his body along the baseline and finding the easy way to score.
Thompson draws a blocking foul on Thomas Bell as he fires up a wild floater underneath.
Want some good news? Our hot dogs arrived. You want some bad news? It's not halftime, but there's your hot dog. Thank you, Mean Green Concessions.
Yeah, it's considered bad form to eat on the air, but we'll make it happen at some point as Jason Thompson steps up and hits the first free throw, his first point of the game.
Well, the game plan was to do that while the Raymond King insurance desk was ably manned by Colin Ellis, but the hot dogs came late, so.
Never complain about free food. Second free throw is also good. The foul on Bell was his second. 53-19. Lead had grown to 36 points. Bell offers a high pick for Hamlet. Fades to the far corner. Javion give to the high post to Simmons. Right back to Javion. Near corner now McBride. Starts in. Back out. Hamlet sizing up Miles Pierre. Decides to stay put. Knocked down to 3.
Couple little jabs. Doesn't take much room for Hamlet to release.
15 for Javion. 56-19. Pierre can't answer his 3. Rebounded by Bell. And Thomas will take the dribble himself into the front court. McBride asked for it at the point. Has it. Now far corner, James Reese. Back to McBride. Hamlet with it. Guarded loosely by Pierre. Off a high pick by Simmons. Drops it off for Reese. Steps back. His 3 on the way is good. One of those nights. Everything is falling. It's 59-19. The Mean Green have built a 29-point lead to 40 in 3.5 minutes. 15-4 start to the second half. Through about half of the first half, they scored 23 unanswered points. And here comes some fresh bodies. Jones, Murray, and Usman for Reese, Hamlet, and Simmons.
If you suited up tonight for the Mean Green, you've got a chance to play extended minutes at some point. So this is just what the doctor ordered here.
Hard time for Pierre to get it in. Almost a 5-second violation. Hunter Janacek takes the inbounds pass. Feed to Pedro Castro. Can't score on the reverse underneath. And a foul on HBU. Going for the rebound, and it is Zach Iyemi's 3rd. Let's pause your 10-second station identification. You're listening to Mean Green Basketball. Mean Green working in the front court. Abu Usman way up high. Looks for a guard. Hands it over to Reuben Jones. Shot clock at 10. Stops foul line. Bounce behind him to Murray. Picked up at a switch by Castro. Down low, Usman. Posting against Iyemi with 3, with 2. And hits the side of the glass with his righty hook. Comes down to Pedro Castro. On the left sideline. Pull up of the baseline. Rattles in and out for Boothman. And the rebound snatched away by Reuben Jones. Quickly front court to McBride. Starts in, hands it over to Bell. Finds Murray, right wing, drives and charges. Drawn by Hunter Janacek.
A little glancing blow by Janacek, but that will take us to a timeout. And yet, I think you like the fact that J.J. Murray went on the attack mode.
15:22 remaining. It's a 40-point game. 59-19 on Learfield IMG College.
When COVID-19 disrupted everything, we did what we do best. When we could no longer be together, we still found ways to stay close. When the #1 goal is to help students achieve their dreams, we overcome any obstacle, bringing education and opportunity for 130 years with a resilient, caring, and creative spirit. The University of North Texas, where education never stops.
Silver leaves as we walk by, soft kisses on a summer's day, laughing all our cares away.
I'll tell you what the Huskies need to work through is shooting. They've begun a second half where they needed to do anything to get back in the game. 0 of 6 from the floor.
Not that bad a shooting squad coming in, 44%, allowing 45%. 0 for 6 this half, 6 of 34 for the game. Just under 18%. 3 of 9 threes. Made all 4 of their free throws. The Mean Green start this half 6 of 8, up to 64% for the game. And a pass almost stolen, finds its way to Castro. To Janacek, drives baseline, kicked it back out. Castro flies high and finds himself an open 3 straight on, and he knocks it down. His second 3 of the game, 59-22.
One of the few open looks on the perimeter that anybody has gotten for Houston Baptist, but Castro with a nice release.
From Fort Worth Brewer. Started out at UTA, then Blinn Junior College. Schmiss on the right side by McBride, chased down by Terrence Lewis II. Into the game, goes right to work, making whatever play is there to be made. McBride setting up the point for Jones. As Usman's pick, fought through by Janacek. Pass down low to Abu. 2 on the shot clock, turns and flips it to Lewis, but the shot clock expires.
Big man with one too many a move as that shot clock was evaporating, and that's a learning moment for Abu Usman. And he's going to check out. Get some Larry Wise action here with 14:24 left to go. Good to see Larry get out there. Spent most of the pandemic rehabbing that knee that he injured at Charlotte at the very end of last season.
Larry sitting the last 3. This is 3rd game. Sophomore from Waxahachie, redshirt sophomore. That turnover the 9th, committed by the Mean Green, 15 by HBU. Pass down low for Miles Pierre. Hemmed in, turns, misses a layup badly because of that crowd around him, and Terrence Lewis controls the board. 14-minute mark, 59-22. To the deck goes Hamlet, and before he's called for traveling, he gets a timeout call. And we'll take the full timeout, 13:58 remaining. Mean Green leading by 37 on Learfield IMG College.
It's time for the Modern Woodmen Fraternal Financial Student Athletes.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voices can be heard
Outside of sports.
As student athletes, we have a platform.
Now more than ever.
It's important that we listen, learn, and lead, and raise our voices for change.
We can all do more.
Now is the time
To make a difference.
This is our chance.
This is our chance to make a better tomorrow.
Together, we will continue the conversation.
We have a voice.
Hi folks, Chris Fowler here, Dos Equis' new pour-by-pour commentator. Hey, a job's a job. Now, onto the pour. Look at it run. The ice-cold, refreshing cerveza rushes toward the 10 fluid ounce line. There's no stopping this crisp and delicious cerveza now. It's at the 11, 11.5, 11.6. Will it reach 12? There it is, 12 fluid ounces. Unbelievable. I'm crying. I'm actually crying right now. Dos Equis, a most interesting beer.
10 rebound edge on the Huskies, 28-18. Holding the Huskies to 1 for 8 shooting this half, and now 19% for the game on 6 of 36. Assistant coach Jareen Dowling just came all the way across the court.
He's concerned that you and I are eating hot dogs. He said that wasn't a professional look. I just think he's hungry.
He wants to know where's his.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
there's no press food anymore. That's what you don't understand. We used to get a meal.
He's the only person who probably noticed. If he were to eat one on the bench, a lot of people would notice.
No doubt.
Out of the timeout, back to play. Javion Hamlet crowded by Darius Lee and off the bench. To Murray, back to Hamlet, shot clock under 10. And Javion ready to go to work against the bigger, slower man. Drives, dishes, and a 3 good in the right corner by Larry Wise.
Boy, that Mean Green bench exploded. They, from a teammate perspective, want to see that kid come back and have some success. Nice shot by Larry.
Through a season of severe headaches and then an ACL torn at the very end of last season. The practice before turned out to be the final game. Spin move on the low post and a turnaround lay-in by Darius Lee, 62-24.
Lee had 13 points in 13 minutes off the bench in the recent game against the Owls. He's showing his coach maybe he needs some more playing time.
Reuben Jones against his hometown team. Drives, dishes, near corner Murray. Around the horn, Wise to Lewis. Back to Jones in the far corner. And hard move into the paint where he is fouled by Miles Pierre, his second and the team's second.
Reuben Jones is going to be a player who just continues to be fun to watch. You know, he was an ISO guy most of the time, obviously, in his high school career, but with the incredible instincts, if he can continue to get better off ball screens, he's going to become a weapon almost anywhere on the floor.
Free throw in and out and back in. 6 of 11 for the season from the line. Jade C will check in for Miles Pierre. Reuben, the finalist for Houston Player of the Year, and knocks down both. He's got 6 off the bench tonight.
The Guy Lewis Award, correct? Named after a long-time Houston iconic coach.
A man who came about as close as it's possible to come without actually winning a national title. Jump stop with the lane. Floater won't go for Lee. Rebound saved underneath on a hard landing by Lewis, but he did not keep it in bounds.
Boy, the scrappiness of Terrence Lewis II. Junior college All-American, starting to really fit in, especially to the Grant McCasland mentality.
Inbounding underneath, Janacek to Boothman to Lee. Working against Lewis on the far wing. 12 and a half minutes remaining at 64-24. Lee drives, dishes. A missed 3 in the corner by Janacek, pulled down by Lewis.
22nd rebound for the Mean Green. They're owning the glass.
Up the left sideline to Jones. Lost the dribble. Beats C to the loose ball. And into the hands now of the point guard, Hamlet, who weaves his way to the paint. Lost it, no whistle. C ends up with it. 10th turnover by the Mean Green. Janacek into the right corner for Castro. Non-factor tonight. Normally leads them in just about every category, even though he comes off the bench. Driving, laying it in is Lee. Good power move from the left wing, and he's got 4.
That's the one offensive component that Ron Cottrell's team could have used in the first half when they couldn't find anyone else to score, but Lee has been a bit of a bright spot here.
So 64-26. They'd have had it up to 40 2 times here in the second half, which they are winning 20-11. Hamlet starts in, dishes, Murray passes up the 3 in the left corner, followed by Boothman to the wing. Shot clock at 5 now, over to Hamlet. Hamlet drives, finds a 3 in the right corner for Jones, can't get it. Wise battles for the loose ball, Boothman takes it away. And will take it all the way in. Floater won't go, but he'll shoot 2.
Boothman with a good step getting past Larry Wise and then drawing the contact of the help defender, which in this case was Murray.
Foul called by Amy Botter, who told us during a timeout this is not her first game to officiate.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voices can be heard
Outside of sports.
As student athletes, we have a platform.
Now more than ever.
It's important that we listen, learn, and lead, and raise our voices for change.
We can all do more.
Now is the time
To make a difference.
This is our chance.
This is our chance to make a better tomorrow.
Together, we will continue the conversation.
We have a voice.
Hi folks, Chris Fowler here, Dos Equis' new pour-by-pour commentator. Hey, a job's a job. Now, onto the pour. Look at it run. The ice-cold, refreshing cerveza rushes toward the 10 fluid ounce line. There's no stopping this crisp and delicious cerveza now. It's at the 11, 11.5, 11.6. Will it reach 12? There it is, 12 fluid ounces. Unbelievable. I'm crying. I'm actually crying right now. Dos Equis, a most interesting beer.
Entire half, it was 36-32. Then they put him away. Well, Houston Baptist never hung around in this one. Down by 29 in intermission, by as many as 40 here in the second, and down 38 with 11:08 remaining, 64-26.
34 points given up against Maryland Eastern Shore back in 2018, the fewest points allowed in the Grant McCasland era. Actually, the fewest allowed as a D1 program since 1957. Huskies have a chance to get over that with 11 minutes left to go.
Deontay Boothman fouled going into the timeout by Murray. Steps up and hits the first. Now leads the Huskies with 9 points. Third start of the year for the true freshman from Buckeye, Arizona. Gets the roll on the second and gets to double figures. His average just under 12 per game coming in. Full court pressure. Thomas Bell back in, throws into Jones. Back to Bell and now Martrez McBride. Guarded by Jade C. Spells it T-S-E. Freshman from Queens, New York. Started out at Salt Lake Community College, but didn't use up a year of eligibility. Still listed as a rare freshman transfer. Pull up in the lane by Jones, and he drops it in from 13.
Little break for Hamlet. He's on the bench. North Texas moving around, and Jones finishing in Hamlet-esque fashion.
66-28, 10.5 to play. Janacek travels. Boy, the very definition of an unforced turnover. He had it by himself, right side cleared, and he dragged his pivot foot.
16th turnover for Houston Baptist and for Ron Cottrell, their veteran coach. That is not a lot of fun to watch, and he is in his 30th season as the head coach at Houston Baptist.
Places him 5th nationally in tenure in Division I. Down low, operating is Simmons, and backs down Lee, easily throws down a baby hook. 8 for Zach, 68-28. They've rebuilt the 40-point lead. Janacek catch and shoot 3, back rim no. Rebound McBride. Outlet up the right sideline to Reese. Reese back to McBride. Driving, draws contact, not called. Shot blocked by C and comes down into the hands of Pedro Castro. Castro works it up. One dribble, jumper good in the right corner by Jade C, and timeout call.
Well, this gives Grant McCaslin a rare opportunity to chew on his players because they've done very few things wrong, but there's a little bit of a mistake. And I sensed that you were getting a little cocky when you threw out your knowledge of long-tenured college coaches, so you know where I'm going with Golden Triangle Mall trivia, perhaps.
Who are the more tenured?
Well, go ahead and give me the more tenured if you know this, which you probably do, because
Jim Boeheim, Syracuse.
42 years.
Mike Krzyzewski, Duke. Those are the first two that pop to mind.
Rick Bird, who recently retired at Belmont, would have been ahead of Ron Cottrell, and Kurt Manke at Oakland is the only other one that would be ahead of Cottrell. But my question for Golden Triangle Mall Trivia is, now retired, who had the longest tenure ever at one school at 49 years? And that's your question.
In Division I?
Division I. And I can give you lifelines if you need them.
I definitely need him. Backcourt pressure applied as McBride gets help from Bell, and Bell steps on the sideline as he loses the dribble. It would have been an over and back either way.
Hint number 1 would be East Coast.
Not that much help.
Hint number 2 would be bow tie.
Okay, cross court to Boothman, who hits the 3. Fed from the right wing to the left corner. And Zayante Boothman with his third tray, 68-33. McBride with a cross-court feed to Reese. Straight up now in the center jump circle to Jones. Reese and now Bell. HBU started to hit, pick up the pace a little bit. Down low, double team Simmons, knocked out of bounds by Castro.
Well, you're seeing Houston Baptist, despite the lopsided score, still trying to bring some energy, quick hands, and trying to show their head coach that they may be down by a bundle, but the fight's not over.
The Princeton coach didn't wear a bow tie.
No, that would be Pete Carrill.
11 to shoot as McBride throws in on the left side to Simmons. Backing down Castro with 5 to shoot. Down to the baseline, trying to position for the jump hook. Throws it around and out. It wouldn't stay. Rebounded by Lee. Move was there, got the shot off in time, everything but the result. Straight on 3, rattled in by Janacek. Signs of offensive life for HBU.
Janacek likes to shoot that 3 off the screen.
They have a run, 8 unanswered over the last minute. And And a foul up near midcourt. Called on C, his first. 8:39 remaining. 40-point lead now 32, 68-36. Will be inbounded on the near sideline by Thomas Bell. Bell can't find anybody, and it's a 5-second violation. By the time Zach Simmons came to him, time had expired.
This is the only ragged portion of this game for the Mean Green, but they are showing some signs of lack of focus here right now, and Grant McCaslin wants to see this 5 on the floor work themselves out of it.
It took until midway in the second half. Something that turned into some coaching points, but not endangering the result. Driving, Janacek, they work it around for a 3, and he got it, and he'll get the and one.
Well, between Boothman and Castro, the 3 balls are still falling for Houston Baptist, and they're able to clean up the scoreboard a little bit, and that's going to draw the ire of Grant McCaslin for certain.
James Reese called for fouling Castro on a 3. Castro, his third 3, now 11 points, and completes the 4-point play. Averages a team-leading 11.8. They play so many people, so many minutes. A little bit like North Texas, leading scorer with 11.4 per game, Javion Hamilton. Indication of the depth. So 68-40, and it's now 12 unanswered Husky points, and they throw full court pressure on. Inbounds to Hamlet, throwing the backcourt to Bell. They better hurry. They're going to be up against another violation just across in time to avoid the 10-second call, and then Bell travels.
Bell's had a tough time getting the ball in bounds a moment ago. Occurred the 5-second call in there, just a little hairy, scary, and so Houston Baptist has picked things up a little bit here and making it more of a game.
And Grant McCaslin calls his next to last timeout with 8:02 remaining. It's 68-40 on Learfield IMG College.
For 25 years, Conference USA student athletes have done things the only way that we know how, the CUSA way. In that quarter of a century, we've learned a thing or two about winning, both on and off the field. Our student athletes are more than just great athletes. They're fantastic students, and they're outstanding citizens who give back to their communities. We're committed to excellence. We are stronger together. That's the CUSA way.
Are you paying for your checking account? Well, you don't have to. At Guarantee Bank and Trust, we have a better way with Guarantee Green Checking. You get a free checking account with no minimum balance or monthly service fees. Even better, it comes with a free debit card, free online banking, free bill pay, and free mobile banking. And over 55,000 surcharge-free ATMs worldwide. Now that's a great value. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Guarantee Green Checking today at gnty.com. Banking with a capital G.
It's that 3 ball and getting to the free throw line. 4 of 8 from downtown, but 7 of 7 at the stripe. Just kind of chipping back into what could have been an awful runaway train. It's still a big North Texas lead, but Dave, now it's time to regather that focus and concentration that North Texas had for most of this game.
That was actually Grant McCaslin's final timeout. You don't usually see that in a 28-point game with 8 minutes to go, but back to play. HBU ball and against all 5 Mean Green starters. Castro, rocker step, pulls up in the lane, rattles it in from 10.
Castro is kind of a black hole guy. He's not going to give the ball up much when he gets it, and he's done a nice job from downtown. They're showing his mid-range ability.
He's getting his points now. That's 14, 68-42, 14 unanswered Husky points. 7.5 minutes remaining. Mean Green just looking to settle things down, execute. Play the way they did the first 30 minutes. And there's a drive and a switch to the right hand for a finish high off the glass by Javion Hamlet.
New season high on this young season for Hamlet.
Player of the year settles things down. Twice a long cut off on the baseline. Out to Janacek. Now Castro works the right side to Darius Lee. Catch and shoot three, and he got it. He's hitting all the shots they didn't get in the first 30 minutes.
Lee's a guy that was missing for Ron Cottrell in that first half.
70-45 is now a 17-2 HBU spurt with now 6:43 remaining. They have hit 6 straight from the field. Hamlet, the only basket for the Mean Green in the last 3 minutes. 5 on the shot clock. And turned over in the corner. Castro comes up with the steal. Feed in transition to C. Back to Castro. Sails in. Misses the backhand finish. Bell there for the board. He'll start the break the other way. Stops over the timeline. Hands it over to Hamlet. Cross court catch and shoot three. Open. Good by Reese.
10 toes to the rim shooter. His 4th triple of the night. James Reese, the senior from Eastover, South Carolina. Very comfortable on the wing.
Maybe that shooting slump that he experienced this time last year is going to be shorter this year. He missed 17 straight threes at one point. 7 straight misses this year. He's come way out of it. Driving with a left hand finish Lee, and timeout called by Ron Cottrell with 5:51 remaining. That bucket getting them within 26, 73-47. And we'll take the timeout on Learfield IMG College. After their timeout, Hamlet will bring it up against the defense of Hunter Janacek. Picked up also at midcourt by Jason Thompson, who has returned to McBride. Back to Hamlet near quarter court. Crowded by Thompson, sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hamlet backs out between the circle. Shot clock at 8. Going to work on the bigger man. Drives, misses. Put back up and in by Bell.
Bell just cradled it with the left hand and then the quick insertion after that rebound.
First basket by Thomas, 75-47. Loose ball picked up at midcourt by Reese. He'll drive and lay in 2.
Almost lost his handle, but recovered nicely and displayed athleticism in the finish.
Best offensive performance in a while for James Reese. Under 5 minutes remaining, 77-47, 18 for Reese. Backing down low, Lee hits a turnaround scoop, and he'll get the and one on the foul called against James Reese, his 3rd and the team's 6th. Darius Lee, 11 points, all here in the second half.
No, he's definitely been somebody going back to his 13 points in 13 minutes off the bench against the Owls of Rice that may be looking for starter-type minutes here soon for Houston Baptist.
Transfer from SUNY Sullivan out of St. Raymond High School. Makes the free throw to complete the three-point play and make it a 27-point game. 4:50 to go, 77-50. They keep the full court pressure on. D. Green beat it with ease. Reese in the right corner. Out to Hamlet. People on the end of the bench hoping for more time than they got, as it turned out. Like Michael Robinson, yet to see him. We saw Larry Wise briefly. Down low, a lefty finish by Thomas Bell. Good ball movement, finding the open man. Second basket in a row for Bell, 79-50.
Piercing in there and contorting his body to get the bucket.
Lee unable to drive on Lewis. This is to Thompson, crowded by Bell. Needs help, gets it into the corner to Lewis. Shot clock down to 14 as he backs down Lewis. And looks for a bounce pass underneath for Thompson. Thompson with a miss straight on, long rebound. Captured at midcourt by Reese. And James throwing back behind him as they set up at the half court to Murray, and now Hamlet. 3:50 and counting. Hamlet crossover move, drives, hits the patented one-hand floater.
What a nice job. Changing hands, gets it to the left, and the southpaw delivers.
Three in the corner by Janacek is no good. And Hamlet all the way down to the other end of the floor for the defensive board. 31-point lead, 3:31 to play. Hamlet drives, kicks back behind him, Lewis to Murray. To Hamlet down the near corner. Lewis calling for it, fronted by Janacek. So Javion looks elsewhere to the point to Reese. Back to Hamlet. Near quarter court, shot clock is at 7 as he goes to work on Lee. Kicks it cross court, Bell out to the wing. A high arcing banker, not quite from 3 by J.J. Murray, and Janacek pulls it down. 3 minutes remaining, it's 81-50. Lee, a pull-up, got it from up high.
Now, Lee has been spot on for Houston Baptist here. Junior out of Harlem, New York, really displaying a nice mid-range game and earning himself some looks.
Huskies keep full court pressure on. High-low feed, Bell to Lewis for the slam. 10 off the bench for Terrence Lewis.
Shredded the mid-court pressure that time with a huge finish for a newcomer that's starting to really shine.
83-52. Baseball pass, Janacek, up fake, passes up the 3, gives low to Thompson, back to Janacek. Cross-court pass. And Boothman fires and hits a 3.
Pretty nice skip pass for Janacek, who gave up a couple of different looks on shots he might have been able to take, but he'll settle for the dime instead.
Fourth tray for Boothman, driving, dishing, Hamlet to Lewis, open underneath for a lay-in.
Adding to that Lewis scoring resume, Hamlet trying to keep him involved.
Under 2 minutes remaining, 85-55. Competitive second half, well after the Mean Green had put it well out of reach. Boothman misses on a drive, Mean Green control. And set things up. Hamlet, baseball pass into the near corner to Murray, passes up the 3, gives to Bell, starts in, pulls up, his 15-footer won't rattle in. Cleaned up by Lewis and blocked from behind by Janacek, and apparently they'll call it a clean block. With a minute 31 remaining, a timeout.
The Mean Green will play their next home game on Tuesday, December 22nd, as LSU Alexandria comes to town.
Mental health affects us all.
Whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend,
We pledge to continue the conversation.
because it matters.
because you matter.
stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
I'm feeling good. I just thought you should know.
JJ 0 for 2, both from deep. 3 in doubles. Hamlet 19, Reese 18, Lewis 12. But credit to HBU for keeping their nose to the grindstone and forcing the Mean Green to keep starters on the court well deeper into the game than it looked like with a 40-point lead midway through the half. So now off the bench will come Larry Wise, who got in briefly earlier and hit a three. Abu Usman as well, who takes the inbounds pass and hands it back to McBride. Now to Murray, passes up the three. McBride on a drive and dish. Lewis on the dribble, feeding Wise in the near corner, 8 to shoot. Wise will take it into the paint. Bounce down low. Usman, a step through, knocked out of his hands and fouled with 1 second on the shot clock.
Tough time for Abu holding on to the rock inside that lane. Got poked at twice, but kept fighting to get it back. And with just that one tick left, he earns a trip to the free throw line.
Put there by Pedro Castro. Abu is short with the first free throw. 2 for 3 from the field tonight. 11 for 15 for the season from the field. Knows his spots. Gets there. Struggling from the line a little bit though. Misses both off the front rim. As Jason Thompson brings it front court to Pedro Castro. And we hit 1 minute remaining. Castro and Lee picking up a lot of points in garbage time, which basically has been the case since about 8 minutes or so in the first half. Driving Boothman. Floater no good. Rebound captured by Lewis. 46 seconds.
J.J. Murray watch is on here. His teammates would love to get him a good look.
He may be too unselfish.
Yeah.
Let's take a shot here in the closing 35 seconds. No, here's a three and in and out. And rebounded by Castro.
He heard you. That was right in front of us.
J.J. 0 for 3. Thompson fires and misses a three. There may yet be time. Lewis with the rebound and I think accidentally poked Abu Usman in the face.
Smacked him in the mouth, unintentional.
McBride will dribble out final seconds of an 85-55 victory. First meeting in nearly 11 years between these two schools. Mean Green win their 4th consecutive meeting with HBU and 7 out of 8 in the series now all time. So again, the final 85-55. North Texas improving to 3-3. HBU falls to 1-6. Stay with us. The post-game show is next, brought to you by Texas Health Presbyterian. This is Mean Green Basketball from Learfield IMG College.